हरे ॐ शन्नो मित्रस्यं वरुणः शन्नो भवत्वर्यमा शन्न इन्द्रो बृहस्पतिः शन्नो विष्णुरुक्रमः नमो ब्रह्मणे नमस्ते वायो त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि त्वामेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्म वदिष्यामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तद्वक्तारमवतु अवतु माम् अवतु वक्तारम् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. Now we are going to the Indian progression system. Indian progression system is called Dasa system in India. Dasa means periods. The various methods of progression in the Occident will give you the keys to the evolution of consciousness. There are certain methods of progression in ancient India also which are very significant and characteristic. So here you have to understand one important point. Generally we calculate the progression horoscope to know the predictions. It belongs to the predictive astrology. When we wanted to understand the horoscope in a spiritual way, for our spiritual progression, we can also understand from the progressed horoscope. There are certain methods in it. We can use the progressed horoscope for the prediction purpose and for also to know about the spiritual progression in our horoscope. That we have to understand. We have to learn. There is one system of progression in India called the Dasa system. Dasa means period. The whole span of life is divided into planetary periods and each planet is given a fixed number of years. The beginning period of each planet is decided according to either moon's longitude or ascendant's longitude. There is a different calculation. You can take the chart from any Indian astrological software. When we started learning astrology in the 70s from Master E.K., we used to calculate manually. A very laborious and strenuous. I face a lot of difficulties in calculating the charts since I am not so good at mathematics. In Indian charts, apart from birth horoscope, we have to calculate some 16 charts and then the Dasa chart. Lots of calculations. You are very fortunate now. You can get any calculation within minutes with all the details with the help of the softwares. The Dasas periods occur in the following succession. Sun, Moon, Mars, North Node or Rahu, Jupiter, Saturn, Mercury, Ketu or South Node, and finally Venus. Sun period is for 6 years, Moon is 10 years, Mars is 7 years, North Node or Rahu is 18 years, Jupiter is 16 years, Saturn is 19 years, Mercury is 17 years, Ketu is 7 years. Finally, Venus is for 20 years. Total 120 years. This does not mean that everyone lives for 120 years. Each individual is born somewhere in the middle of some planetary period and completes the span in the same succession of planetary years. Up to which period he lives, it depends upon the positions of planets in the native's horoscope. Here we should understand one important point. Since we started the planetary dasas with Sun, don't think that everyone will be born in Sun Dasa. In which Dasa someone is born depends upon the longitude of either Moon or Ascendant. Among the Moon and Ascendant, what do we have to take? For the time being, take the Moon's longitude. Most of the softwares is programmed like that. Only a few softwares only give two calculations. Until you are thorough with the Indian predictive astrology part, take moon's longitude for dasa calculations. What succession means: if someone is born in Mars dasa period, his next dasa will be North Node or Rahu, and after that Jupiter period. The same order follows. This is about the Indian dasa system or Indian planetary periods. There is no comparison between the Western progression system and Indian progression system. Western progression system is totally different from the Indian dasa system. We call Indian progressive system. If we want to read the horoscope in the Indian background, with the Indian background, and there are two things here. This is very important. Of course, it is important only to the people who are going to the predictive side of astrology. Here there is a genuine doubt. Suppose if you calculate the tropical chart, the Western horoscope, then is it okay if you follow the Indian dasa system in the background of the tropical astrology, tropical chart or the Western chart? This is a very big question for so many people. Generally, what we will do in India, especially me, if you ask me, what I will do, if I want to go to dasa system, Indian progression system, I will take the Indian horoscope, sidereal horoscope, not tropical horoscope or the Western chart. If I want to calculate my progression system given by Alan Leo and others, simply I will take the Western chart or the tropical chart. I will go for the Western progression system or progression system given by the Alan Leo. Don't be confused here. Then you will get a doubt. And we may get one type of prediction in Indian astrology. We may get some other prediction in the Western astrology. It should not be like that. Why? Because if some incident is happened in the life, means it should be reflected in the Indian astrology way of giving predictions. It should be reflected in the Western astrology way of predictions. Otherwise, there must be error in the calculation, or there must be an error in understanding the science, or there must be an error in the birth details. You take it from me. Nowadays, some astrologers, they are trying to draw the chart, to calculate the chart in the Western way, in the tropical way, and then they are trying to calculate the Indian dasas to the tropical horoscope. Then what happens? You have to do a research on it. You have to take a very genuine date of birth, place of birth and time of birth. And then if you wanted to calculate the dasa system to the Western horoscope or the tropical horoscope, you try with it. And you try with, go back, write down all the incidents in the native's horoscope, the marriage or education or any problems or any accidents or any major events in the life. Take the dates with month and year and go with the dasa system and try to find out whether it is applicable or not. So in this dasa system, marriage will be happen, and with this dasa system, and he may get a job or he may get a promotion or he'll be very prosperous in the business. Like that, you will know if you read the Indian dasa system, predictive system, and you understand all these things, and then you try with the Western horoscope in the tropical horoscope. And if you are successful in, you have to go for 100 horoscopes, minimum 100 horoscopes, different horoscopes. And you take the 12 houses into consideration and take a notes of the individual, apply the rules of the Indian Dasa system on tropical horoscope, Western horoscope, and try to, if you are successful in giving the predictions or find out the reason behind it, and then you can safely go with that. But don't go with just a bookish knowledge. It needs a lot of experience. I discussed with Master E.K. and some other great masters in astrology what to do and how to follow. They simply answered me, it is for you to work out, do the research in both the styles, both the horoscopes, whether we can apply the Indian Dasa system on the tropical horoscope, or if you can apply the progression system of the Westerns, the Alan Leo, in the Indian type of calculation, sidereal horoscope. These are the things debatable. A lot of discussions are over, are still going on. I advise you, if you are really interested in these type of things, and take 100 and 200 horoscopes and take all the data from the individuals and calculate the 100 charts in different methods, and then try to reach to your own conclusion. That is always better. It is my advice. But remember one thing, giving predictions with Western astrology is much more easier than giving predictions in the background of the Indian Dasa system. If you wanted to learn the Indian Dasa system, you have to learn a lot of things, and you have to read so many books, and you have to meet the scholars in Indian astrology and to know the minute calculations of it. Then only we can give the predictions in the background of the Indian astrology. So, if any one of you who are following my lectures here, lessons here, if you are interested in Indian astrology, when you come to Visakhapatnam, if you can let me know a few months before, and I can teach you, not everything, I can teach you depending upon the time, there are few methods of understanding the Indian astrology, and at the same time I can also teach you how to read the progression horoscope in the Western style also, in a spiritual way, not from the predictive side, and we can also understand the chart from the spiritual way also with the help of the progress horoscope. And if any one of you are interested in knowing these things, and anyhow you are coming every year, and you can learn bit by bit, and I can suggest you to read some books, and you can gain knowledge about it. You can make use of this opportunity. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Om shanti shanti shanti.